guys, this is Stacy from EatTheBite.com, and today we're making big batch, slow-cooked spaghetti sauce. Make this sauce, put it in the freezer, and you've got an instant spaghetti night whenever your time is limited. This is my mom's recipe, and I have no idea where it came from, but it has brought years of happiness to all who've eaten it. So, I want to share it with you. This is a big batch recipe and will make about 2¼ to 2½ gallons of sauce. So, you'll need 7 28-ounce cans of Pastine's Kitchen Ready ground tomatoes, along with 7 6-ounce cans of tomato paste. Normally, we use the tomato paste that has roasted garlic in it, but because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to get that, so just the plain tomato paste will do. Next, we're going to need a whole head of garlic, peeled and finely diced. You can use already peeled garlic or peel it yourself. If you have already peeled garlic in a container, you'll just need about 9 or 10 cloves. I peeled mine and I've got about 9 or 10 here in my mini food processor. So I'm going to use this to save a little bit of time, but if you don't have that, you can just dice it with a knife. So I run it in the food processor for a few seconds, and once the garlic is ready, I put it in a ramekin. You need to heat 1 cup of Greek olive oil in your pot. My mom says it has to be Greek olive oil, so that's what I'm using. You're going to add all that garlic to your heated oil so it's sizzling. And then you want to give it a good stir around and let it cook for a minute or two. I absolutely love the smell of garlic cooking in oil in my kitchen. It is one of the best smells in the world. Now it's time to start emptying all those cans of tomato paste into the olive oil and garlic mixture. My mom was standing next to me when I made this and kept insisting I scrape the sides of the cans even more so I could get every last drop of tomato paste. And once that tomato and garlic start living in harmony in that pot, that smell gets even better. After all the tomato paste has been added to the pot, you really want to give it a good stir around until it's combined. Oh, and there's that last little bit of tomato paste that my mother scraped from the cans. And here's our finished product. Next, we'll start adding the 7 cans of Pastine's Kitchen Ready ground tomatoes. Here's a better look at that can as well. I couldn't tilt it back earlier in the video because I'd already opened all the cans. Whoops! You want to make sure this is the kind of tomatoes you get, otherwise it just won't be the same. As you empty the cans of ground tomatoes into the pot, just give it a good mix before adding the next can, as seen here. And again, it's really important to make sure you buy the right tomatoes for this, so read the label carefully. You don't want to get home and realize you actually bought whole stewed tomatoes. This is not a chunky spaghetti sauce. It's a smooth, thick, rich sauce, but not a chunky one. Once you've added all the cans to the pot, you'll take 1 can filled with water and add it to your sauce. You want to stir that around until all the water becomes incorporated. And now you'll add a ½ can of water and mix that until it's combined as well. Next, we'll add some dried basil and some dried oregano. Then we want to stir those spices into the pot until the layer on top is combined into the sauce. We need to add a little bit of sugar, not too much, about 2 tablespoons, to cut the acidity of the tomatoes. Tomatoes are highly acidic, so adding the sugar will just help with digestion. So we'll add that sugar into the sauce. Then we're going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper as well. Then we want to give everything a good mix until it's well blended. Now we're going to let that sauce simmer on low. So we wait and stir and stir. This pot of sauce should simmer on low for a whopping 5 to 6 hours. And it's very important to stir it about every 15 to 20 minutes, running your spoon across the bottom to make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom. We don't want the sauce to burn. And after about 2 hours, you'll need to add about 3/4 to 1 cup of olive oil, and more if needed. My mom's way of telling there's enough olive oil is if the oil is rising to the top of the sauce and pooling like it is here in this picture. And if the sauce feels too thick for you, certainly add a little bit of water to thin it out. But the key to this delicious sauce is letting it simmer for 5 to 6 hours. If you're happy with the flavor at 5 hours, then turn off the burner, or let it keep going another hour and turn the burner off then. Once you let it cool a bit, you can start transferring the sauce into containers as you see here. And you should have a variety of containers on hand and have multiple sizes too. After I put the sauce in the containers, I leave the lids off as long as possible, and then I put all the sauce in the refrigerator overnight. And then the next day, I'll put the containers in the freezer. And that's it. It's time to eat the bite now, guys. My mom and I are having a feast with our spaghetti, Italian sausage, and this amazing spaghetti sauce. I also have a killer meatball recipe and chicken parmesan too. I'll leave the links below so you can check them out. And as always, you'll find all the printable recipes on my website at www.eatthebite.com. If you like this video, feel free to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.